Hello, good evening everyone. So, in today's lesson or lecture, I would like to cover geography, and it is most important lecture because of some reasons. Reason is I will cover only those topics which is high yielding, or you can say those topics from where maximum questions are asked. Okay, so let's suppose we can say 20-80 formula, or we can say 80-20 formula, right? So what do you mean by 80-20 formula? So 80-20 formula means 20% 20% input give 80% output. 80% output. So this is what we call a smart study. A smart study, right? So this is important especially for UPSC aspirant. Why UPSC aspirant? Because you know, in UPSC syllabus is vast, very vast. Syllabus is very vast. Due to this reason, we have to focus on important topics only, because you cannot cover all the subjects, all the topics one by one, because if you cover one thing, another thing will be left. Okay, so in this way, maximum to maximize to cover maximum things, there will be some you can say remaining. So to avoid such things, you have to study smartly, because without a smart work you cannot succeed in this exam. So this is extremely important. So without wasting any much more time, we have to focus on content. So first thing I would like to cover tertiary wind movement, or we can say local winds. So tertiary wind movement is called local winds, and in local winds definitely there are many winds, and that is we will cover one by one, and also emphasis what is being most important, and what can be asked in the examination. So first thing I would like to cover Chinook, that is local winds. Okay, and it is hot dry winds in Rockies, also called, this is also called, we can say, snow eater. So why it is called snow eater? Because there is formation of snow, and because of snow, so they will, we can say, escape of some snow. So okay, so this is the reason we call it snow eater. Okay, now next thing is foehn. So this is a hot dry wind in Alps. Okay, Alps. So next thing is Khamsin, with another name is Khamsin. So this is hot dry wind in Egypt. And next thing is Sirocco. So this is hot moist wind from Sahara to Mediterranean Sea. And next is Solano. So Solano is hot moist wind from Sahara towards uh, mm, Liberian Peninsula. Next thing is Harmattan. So this is a hot dry wind blowing outwards from the interior West Africa. Also we called it Guinea Doctor. So this is also called Guinea Doctor. So Harmattan is also called Guinea Doctor. So Guinea, Guinea Doctor, right? Gunia doctor. Is it clear? So this is how we can say Harmattan, and this is hot dry wind blowing outwards from the interior West Africa. So now next thing is Boro, cold dry. So Boro is also called cold dry wind blowing outwards from Hungary to the north of Italy, right? Now next thing is Mistral. So Mistral is very cold wind, okay, and which blow down from the Alps over France. Alps from the France. Now next thing is Punaj. So Puna is very dry wind blowing downwards the western side of Andes. Okay. Now next is brick fielder. So brick fielder is a hot wind in Australia. So with a country you have to remember all the facts. So because sometime in the examination you will face such questions, or a statement based question, or you can say matching type questions. So this is important to remember all the things with country also. Okay. So next thing is Purga. So Purga is cold winds in the Russian tundra, right? Russian tundra. Russian tundra. Is it clear? Russian tundra. Okay. Now, Levanter cold wind in Spain. Levanter cold wind in Spain, and Nor'wester, that is hot wind in the New Zealand. Now next thing is Santa Ara. So Santa Ara is a hot wind in the southern California in USA. So this is all about local winds, and now I would like to move climatic winds, or we can say periodic winds. So climatic winds, or that is periodic winds. Why we call it periodic winds? Because periodic means after certain amount of time that will be happen again and again, okay, in certain interval of time. So that's why we call it periodic winds. So land and sea bridge, land and sea bridge. Okay. So land and sea bridge. Land and sea bridge. Sea bridge. Okay. So land and sea bridge and the monsoon winds are typical examples of periodic winds. So you have to remember example, that is land and sea bridge and the monsoon winds are example of periodic winds. So suppose there is question, which one of the following is the example of periodic winds, and there will be option, that is land bridge, sea bridge, monsoon winds, and fourth one is totally different from these three. Okay. So you have to remember these examples, so, right? So I think is it clear, right? Now next thing is jet stream. So jet stream is the strong rapidly moving circumpolar westerly air circulation in a narrow belt of a few hundred kilometers width in the upper limit of troposphere is called jet stream. So I think jet stream is clear. So jet stream is a strong and rapidly moving circumpolar westerly air circulation in a narrow belt, right? So the extent of jet streams narrow down during the summer season because of their northward shifting, while these extend up to 20 degree north, right? 20 degree north latitude. Okay. Now next thing is humidity. So what do you mean by humidity? So humidity of air refers to the contents of the water vapor present in the air at a particular time and place, right? So humidity is measured by hygrometer. So we can say hygrometer means the measurement of humidity, right? So absolute humidity, what do you mean by absolute humidity? Absolute humidity. So what do you mean by absolute humidity? So absolute humidity means total weight of moisture content per volume of air at the definite temperature is called absolute humidity, right? I think it is clear. Now next thing is a specific humidity. So a specific humidity is the mass of the water vapor in the grams contained in a kilometer of air, and it represents the actual moisture present in a definite air. Okay, now next thing is relative humidity. Relative humidity. So what do you mean by relative humidity? So okay, relative humidity is the ratio of amount of water vapor actually present in the air having definite volume and temperature to the maximum amount of the air can hold. So this is the we can say ratio. This is the ratio of amount of water vapor actually present in the air having the definite volume and temperature to the maximum amount of the air can hold. So this is the ratio. Now next thing I would like to say condensation. Condensation is the change of physical state. Condensation, right? So condensation is the change of the physical state of matter from gaseous phase into liquefied phase, and is the reverse of vaporization. So condensation is reverse of vaporization. Right? Vaporization. Is it clear? Now when the relative humidity reaches 100°, the air is completely saturated. The air temperature is said to be dew point. So this is dew point. Now next thing is a smog. So a smog is a smoke plus fog. This is a smog. So a smog is formed by a smoke and fog. So this is combination of a smog and fog. So a smog, you can say a smog, right? A smog plus fog. Okay, so a smoke plus fog, it will make a smog, right? So it is a form of fog that occurs in the area where the air contains large amount of smog. So where water, or you can say moisture, where large amount of smoke are there, that is called a smog. Now next thing is fog. So what is fog? So fog is nothing but made from the droplets of water in the lower layer of the atmosphere. So this is all about fog. Now next thing is clouds. So what is cloud? एक second. Okay, so what is cloud? Right? So clouds are mass of a small water droplets or a tiny ice crystals. So clouds are mass of a small water droplets or tiny ice crystal. So you can say tiny ice crystal, or in another word we can say cloud are the mass of a small water droplets, right? Droplets. Is it clear? So next thing, there are four groups of clouds. First thing is uh, high clouds. Okay, so in high clouds there will be 6,000 to 12,000 m, and middle clouds 2100 to 6,000 m, and low clouds is below 2100, and clouds of great weight vertical extent 1500 to 9,000 m, so this is four type of we can say clouds found, right? So remember these things with range. Okay, now types of clouds. So first thing is high clouds. So high clouds, for example, cirrus composed of a small ice crystals, white, wispy and fibrous in appearance, right? Now next thing is cirrocumulus. So cirrocumulus composed of ice crystal, but that is globular, or we can say repelled in the appearance, is it clear? Now next thing is middle clouds. So middle clouds is what? Middle clouds, MC, middle clouds. So middle clouds, that is for example altocumulus, composed of water droplets in the layers and patches. Okay, now next thing is altostratus. So altostratus is composed, or we can say altostratus stratus composed of water droplets forming sheets of gray or water looking clouds, right? So now next type of cloud is low clouds. So low clouds, for example stratocumulus. So stratocumulus is a large globular masses, bumpy looking, or we can say soft and gray appearance in the forming a pronounced regular and sometimes wavy pattern, right? Wavy pattern. So this is stratocumulus. Now next thing is nimbostratus. So nimbostratus, that is dark gray and rainy looking, dense and shapeless, often gives continuous rains. So due to nimbostratus there will be continuous rains. So I think this is clear to you. Now great vertical extent. So great vertical extent is for example cumulus, round. This is round topped and flat based, forming a whitish gray globular mass consisting of individual clouds units. Okay, now cumulus nimbus, cumulonimbus. So cumulonimbus, they are or we can say they have great vertical extent, white or black globular masses, whose round tops and often spread out in the form of anvil, by convectional rain, lightning and thunder it is characterized, or we can say there are many characteristics of cumulonimbus, that is convectional rain. It gives convectional rain, lightning and thunder, is it clear? So this is all about cumulonimbus. Now precipitation, next concept is precipitation. So what is precipitation? So precipitation is for example convectional rainfall. So it is under precipitation. So it occurs due to thermal convection currents caused due to insolation, heating of ground surface. No, I think, is it clear? Is it clear? Now frontal rainfall. So what is frontal rainfall? What is frontal rainfall? So frontal rainfall, okay, it occurs due to upward movement of air caused by convergence of cold air masses against warm air masses. Is it clear? Now next thing is cyclonic rainfall. So cyclonic rainfall, when the air is caused to rise upward due to cyclonic circulation. Cyclonic circulation, that is the precipitation that is gives result of precipitation, which is called cyclonic rainfall. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, so one by one I would like to cover. Okay. So one more thing I would like to discuss, that is climate. So this is important. Why? Because the type of climate or various concepts related to climate will be asked in the examination, or are asked in previous year also. So this is weather, which is refers to the sum total of the atmospheric condition in terms of temperature, pressure, wind, moisture, cloudiness, precipitation, and visibility. So this is climate. Okay. Now I would like to discuss some climatic zones and climate type and rainfall and natural vegetation. So first thing is uh, equatorial zone, that is comes under 0 degree to 10 degree north and south, right? And under this climatic zone, the climatic type is hot wet equatorial, and rainfall all the year 80 inch. And if we talk natural vegetation, definitely there will be equatorial rainforest, there will be equatorial rainforest. So this is equatorial zone, and in this hot wet equatorial, rainfall all the year 80 inch, and equatorial zone rainforest. Now next thing is a hot zone. So under hot zone, you know, there will be 10 degree to 30 degree north and south, and under this tropical monsoon, tropical marine, and Sudan type, desert type, Sahara type, mid latitude type, all these comes under hot zone. Right? And if we talk rainfall, definitely there will be heavy summer rain, and that will be 60 inch. And natural vegetation, that is monsoonal forest. Okay. Now Sudan type, so rain mainly in the summer, and that is 70 degree inch. And savanna tropical grassland, there will be savanna tropical grassland, right? Grassland. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now next thing is desert type, or desert. Under desert type there will be two type, that is Saharan type and mid latitude type. So under this Saharan type and mid latitude type, there will be little rain, approximately 5 inch. Okay. Or vegetation will be desert vegetation scrub. Now next is warm temperate zone. So under this there will be western margin, or we can say Mediterranean type, and winter rain 35 inches, and Mediterranean forest will be there. Okay. And one temperate zone, and that is 30 degree to 45 degree so north and south, right? Now western margin, that is winter rain 35 inch, Mediterranean forest, and central continental type, STP type. Okay, central continental type, that is STP type, and under this there the light summer rain 20-inch and STP temperate grassland, right? Now next thing is uh, eastern margin. Eastern margin. So in eastern margin, China type, Gulf type, Natal type. So from this, definitely there will be one or two questions in the prelims examination. So the heavier summer rain 45 inches and warm wet forest and bamboo. So next is cool temperate zone. Cool temperate zone. Cool temperate zone, right? Okay, cool temperate zone. Is it clear? Cool temperate zone. Cool temperate zone. Okay, so in cool temperate zone there will be western margin, rain in autumn and winter 30 inch and deciduous forest. So central continental, that is Siberian type, and light summer rain 25-inch and coniferous forest. Eastern margin Laurentian type, that is moderate summer rain 40-inch and mixed forest, coniferous and deciduous. Next is cold zone. So 11 cold zone means Arctic or polar. So very light summer rain 10 inch and tundra mosses. Okay, now next topic I will try to cover forest. So from forest also there will be question. Forest. So forest, there are various types of forest. So first thing is tropical evergreen rainforest. Tropical evergreen rainforest. Tropical evergreen rainforest, right? So tropical evergreen such forests are found in the equatorial and tropical regions with more than 200 centimeter annual rainfall. 200 centimeter annual rainfall, and the leaves of tree in such a forest are wide, very wide. Okay, for example, redwood, palm, etc. are found in tropical evergreen rainforest. Okay, next type of forest are tropical semi-deciduous forest. So in such forest receive rainfall less than 150 centimeter. Okay, and that is sagwan, sal, bamboo, all these are found in tropical semi-deciduous forest, right? Now next type is temperate mixed forest. So temperate mixed forests are mixture of trees and shrubs. Mixture of trees and shrubs, and for example oak, etc. are the major trees of these temperate mixed forest. Okay, now next thing is coniferous forest or triga. So these are the evergreen forest. These are the evergreen forest, and trees in the forest, these forests have a straight trunk, conical shape with the relatively short branches and a small needle leaf like leaves. For example, pine, fir, etc. are found in coniferous forest or taiga forest. Now next thing is tundra forest. Tundra forest. So what is tundra forest? So in tundra forest, such forests are covered with snow. With snow, only mosses, few sledge and lichens grow here in the summer. Now next forests are mountainous forests. So vegetation varies according to altitude. So according to altitude, it depends on altitude. So according to altitudes there are various types of vegetation, okay, and there will be variation in vegetation also. So this is mountainous forest. Is it clear? So some famous grasslands of the world. So this is important. Sometimes it will be seen in the examination. First is steppe. Steppe. So steppe, that is Eurasia. It is found in Eurasia. Prairie, that is USA, and Pampas, that is Argentina, Veld, that is South Africa, Downs, that is Australia, right? So next I would like to cover hydrosphere. So you know the literal meaning of hydrosphere. So it form from hydro, and hydro means water. Hydro means water, right? Hydro means water. Is it clear? And you know all the water sphere, or you can say all the water portions are comes under hydrosphere. So if for example oceans, Pacific oceans, Atlantic oceans, okay, Indian oceans, Arctic oceans, okay, so all these are comes under hydrosphere. So oceans, you know, there are four oceans in order of their size. They are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and Indian Oceans, and Arctic Ocean. So Pacific Ocean, if we talk, it is deepest ocean. It is deepest ocean with an average depth of 4200 meter, 4200 meter. And the Mariana Trench is the world's deepest trench with a depth of 11,033 meter, okay. And we can convert it into feet also. So 11,300 meters equivalent to 36,000 uh, 36,201 feet. This is in feet. This is in feet, right? Now most of the islands of these oceans are volcanic or coral origin. Volcanic and coral origin. Coral origin. Is it clear? Coral origin. Okay. So next thing is Atlantic Ocean. So Atlantic Ocean, what the Atlantic Ocean has the longest coastline. So you have to remember it. Atlantic Ocean has the longest coastline, and the Atlantic Ocean is the busiest oceans for the trade and commerce. Now the Atlantic Ocean was formed millions of years ago when rift opened up in the Gondwana land, and the continents of the South America and Africa separated. Right now, the separation continues even today, and the Atlantic Ocean is still widening. Atlantic Ocean is still widening. So you have to keep in mind. Now, Indian Ocean. So if we talk Indian Ocean, definitely the Indian Ocean is deeper than the Atlantic Ocean, right? Indian Ocean is deeper than Atlantic Ocean, and you know it contains numerous continental islands. For example, Madagascar and Sri Lanka are being the largest one, and some of the islands of volcanic origin are those of the Mauritius, Andaman and Nicobar, Seychelles and Maldives and Lakshadweep are coral origin. Right? So next I would like to that is Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean. So in Arctic Ocean, you know it lies within the Arctic Circle. It lies within the Arctic Circles, and hence the we call it the Arctic Ocean. Obviously, because of Arctic Circle, we call it Arctic Ocean, and North Pole lies in the middle. North Pole lies in the middle of the Arctic Ocean, and most of the parts of the Arctic Ocean remain frozen with thick ice for most of the days each year each year. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now, the most of the parts of the Arctic Ocean remains frozen with thick ice for most of the days every year, and this is slowest of the all oceans with an average depth of 1500 meter. 1500 meter. Is it clear? Now it has lower salinity than all other oceans. So Arctic Ocean has lower salinity than all other ocean. Is it clear? Now, next thing is okay. So next thing I would like to discuss some trench location and depth. So first thing is Mariana Trench. So Mariana Trench, that is comes under Western Pacific Ocean, that is near Philippines and Japan. And depth, if we talk depth, this is 10,911 meter. And Tonga Trench, this is under in Southern Pacific Ocean, that is near New Zealand, and 10,882 meter depth. And Kuril Kamchatka Trench, so it is in Northern Pacific Ocean, and depth is 10,542 meter. Now Philippines Trench. So Philippines Trench, it is in Philippines Sea, and 10,540 meter depth. Now Kermadec Trench. So Kermadec Trench, it is in Southern Pacific Ocean, which is near New Zealand, and depth, that is 10,047 meter. So you have to remember it. Now next thing is relief of the ocean basin. Relief of the ocean basin of ocean basin. Ocean basin. Is it clear? So first is continental shelf. First thing is continental shelf. So the shallowest submerged extension of the continent is called the continental shelf. Now extends to a depth of 100 fathoms, that is 1 fathom is equals to 1.8 meter. Okay, now the average width 70 kilometer, average slope 17 meter field a mile, or about 1 degree. So this is continental shelf, covers 7.5 degree area of the oceans. It is extend over 13.3 degree okay, of the Atlantic Oceans, and 5.7 degree percent of the Pacific Oceans, and 4.2 degree 2% of Indian Ocean. Now continental slope. So continental slope, that is extend seawards from the continental shelf, right? Now depth, if we talk about depth, so depth is 200 to 2000 fathoms, that is 3660 meter. 3660 meter, right? 3660 meter. Now it is average slope, we can say average slope is 210.5 degree, right? Now next thing is continental rise. So if we talk continental rise, so continental rise is is an area at the foot of the slope and slightly rising due to the accumulation of debris transport over the slope. Now while deposits occur there. Okay, so average slope is minus 0.5 degree to 1 degree, okay, in continental rise. So this is all about continental rise. Now abyssal or the deep sea plains. So it is the deepest and most extensive part of the oceanic floor, and it covers about 75.9% of the total oceanic area. 75.9%. This is in percentage. Is it clear? Is it clear? So okay, and average depth, if we talk about average depth, then average depth is 3000 meter to 6000 meter. 3000 meter to 6000 meter. Okay, so under this it comes, मतलब डेप्थ इतना होता है, ठीक है. So dips and trenches. If we talk dips and trenches, so trenches are narrow and steep sides of the depression. Steep sides of depression. So Mariana Trench, that is Challenger Deep, is the deepest trench in the world, situated in the new NW Pacific Ocean, okay, which is near Philippines, and it is more than 11 kilometer deep. So 11 kilometer, I think it is much more, okay. So next thing is oceanic ridge. So what is oceanic ridge? So if we talk about oceanic ridge, so oceanic ridge. So what is oceanic ridge? So oceanic ridge are formed by the volcanic activity, right? Volcanic activity. Is it clear? Volcanic activity. Okay, so along the spreading boundary of plates, along the spreading boundary of plates, so it is thousands of kilometers long and hundreds of kilometers wide, and mountains range on the oceanic floor, for example mid-oceanic ridge. Now seamounts and guyots. So ridge rising more than 100 meters above the ocean floor is called seamounts, and the flat topped seamounts are called guyots. So first thing is seamounts, seamounts, MOUNTS, seamounts. Second thing is guyots, GUY, guyots, right? So two things are important. First thing is ridge mounts, sea mounts. So sea mounts is rising above 100 meter above, okay, the ocean floor is called sea mounts, and the flat topped sea mounts are called flat. When it is flat, definitely that sea mounts are called guyots. Is it clear? Now next thing is submarine canyons. Submarine canyons. Okay. Submarine canyons. Okay. So submarine canyons are the deep gorge on the ocean floor, are restricted to the continental shelves, and it is rises, and we can say slopes are there. Slopes and rises are there. So coral reefs. So coral reefs, okay, coral reefs are formed due to accumulation and the compaction of skeletons of lime secreting organisms known as the coral polyps. So coral are found mainly in the tropical ocean and sea because they require high mean annual temperature ranging from 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degree Celsius. Okay. Now corals do not live in deeper water due to lack of sufficient sunlight and oxygen. If there is no sunlight, there is no oxygen, okay, or we can say there will no coral reefs. There will be no any coral reefs, no any coral. Is it clear? No. So I think it is clear to you. Okay. So uh, coral reefs and their locations. Some coral reefs and their locations like Great Barrier Reef that is found in Greenland, Australia. Next is Belize Barrier Reefs, that is Belize, and New Caledonia Barrier Reefs, that is New Caledonia, and Andros Barrier Reefs, that is Bahamas, and Red Sea Coral Reefs, that is Red Sea, and Pulley Ridge, that is Florida, USA, Maldives, that is Indian Ocean, and Raja Ambat Islands, that is Indonesia, that is found in Indonesia. So I think it is clear to you. Okay. So fringing reefs. Fringing reefs, I think it is develops along the continental margins or the along the islands, and these types of reefs are found near Rameswaram in the Gulf of Mannar. So barrier reefs. So what is barrier reefs? So barrier reefs means largest coral reefs of all the coastal platforms, but parallel to them. So the reefs lies at the distance away from the coast. So these are the barrier reefs and atoll. So a reef of narrow growing corals of horseshoe shape and crowned with palm tree is called as an atoll. So it is formed around an islands of, or we can say in an elliptical forms, okay, elliptical forms, and on submarine platforms. So Fun Footy atoll of Eclipse Ellis Islands is a famous atoll also found in the Lakshadweep and Nicobar. Now coral bleaching. So coral bleaching, when corals are stressed by change in conditions such as temperature, light, or nutrients, and they expel we can say the symbiotic algae living in their tissue, and due to which causing them to turn known as the bleaching. So some saline water bodies and percentage composition. So lac acel, that is Djibouti, the percentage is 34.8%, and lac Van 33%, and Dead Sea or we can say West Asia 33.7%, and Great Salt Lake, that is USA 32.0%. Now next thing is salinity. So sometimes it will be seen in the exam also as well as in the news also. So average salinity in the southern hemisphere is more than that of the northern hemisphere. So these are the statement based question, and obviously will be asked in the examination in the format of the statement. Okay, so average salinity in the southern hemisphere is more than that of the northern hemisphere. Okay, now isohelines, it represents the salinity distribution at the surface of the sea, and these are the lines joining the places having an equal degree of salinity. Now poles have minimum salinity because of the addition of fresh water in the form of icebergs and excessive snowfall. So salinity also increase the density of water. Salinity increase the density of water, and salinity on an average decrease from equator to poles. So you have to remember such facts, such a statement. Okay, because sometime it will be asked, or in the statement format, or we can say match the following type question mein. So I think it is clear to you. It is clear to you. Now some composition of seawater, that is salt and percentage composition. So sodium chloride, that is 77.8%, magnesium chloride 10.9%, and magnesium sulfate 4.7%, calcium sulfate 3.6%, potassium sulfate 2.5%, and other is 0.5%. So this is the composition of seawater, that is maximum is sometimes it will be asked in chronological order. Okay, either it may be decreasing order, or it may be increasing order, ascending or descending type question. So it is extremely important. Just avoid numerical value, but just remember sequence. Just remember, you have to learn in a sequential manner. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? So next thing is controlling factors of the oceanic salinity. Obviously this is also extremely important. Why? Because sometimes, or many a times, in the previous year also, and it is a highly chance in future also. So there may be question in the final examination. So salinity of oceans and different seas depends on number of factors, such as evaporation, precipitation, influx of the river water, prevailing wind, ocean and current sea waves, etc. So these are the factors of salinities. Okay, so once again you have to remember it, that is evaporation, precipitation, influx of river water, prevailing wind, ocean current and waves. Okay, so in a statement format or in factual type question, it may be seen in the examination also. Okay, now next thing is ocean current. So ocean current is a you can say continuous directed movement of ocean water generated by the force acting upon it. Okay, such as breaking waves, wind Coriolis effect, and temperature, salinity, direct differences, and tides and cold by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun. Okay, now ocean currents circulate in the clockwise direction. Ocean currents circulate in the clockwise direction, right? Clockwise direction. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, now ocean currents circulate in clockwise direction. You have to remember, in northern hemisphere and in anti-clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. So these facts you must learn, you must remember, because sometimes there will be confusion in clockwise, southern, northern hemisphere, like. Okay, so without any confusion, you have to remember such a statement type questions, or you can say a statement based, or sometimes it will be matching also. So suppose clockwise direction, which northern hemisphere, or we can say southern hemisphere. So you know, anti-clock, anti-clock, southern hemisphere, anti-southern, anti-southern, just you have to remember, and clockwise direction, that is northern, northern. Okay, is it clear? Now, warm currents. So, ocean currents following from lower latitude to the higher latitudes, that is called as warm current. Okay, so that is from lower latitude to higher latitudes are called warm currents. Is it clear? Now, next thing is cold currents. Cold currents. So the ocean currents following from higher latitude to lower latitudes are called cold currents. Okay. Now, okay. Now, currents of North Pacific Ocean. So warm currents, north equatorial currents. It flows westwards from the western coast of Mexico to Philippines. Mexico to Philippines. And Kuroshio current, it is an extension of north equatorial current near Japan coast. It flows towards north. Alaska current, it flows along the coast of British Columbia and the Alaska Peninsula. Now cold currents or Vaisio current, Vaisio current, that is uh, current, that is it follows down from being Bering Sea towards Japan from North Pole, and it joins Kuroshio currents. Now Okhotsk current and Kuril currents. So Okhotsk joined Kuroshio currents to the north of Japan, and west wind drift. It flows towards Alaska. And California current. Californian current, it is an extension of Alaskan current, and it joins finally the north equatorial current and completes clockwise circulation of water. Now currents of South Pacific Ocean. So I will cover next day. So till then, thank you so much. Uh, have a nice day. Thank you.